The KX Enforcer droid is about to hit waitlist. Another figure from Hot Toys for Star Wars about to hit waitlist well before it's due to release in 2023. And you have to wonder, is it possible that this is not the last one? And I say, I'm in the middle of recording this and someone's calling me. And of course, it's the Hot Toys wizard. The timing of this wizard. Wizard, I'm recording a show. Yes, I am aware of those figures that are going to hit waitlist and get low stock warnings. I was just about to say that. Mm-hmm. No, I'm aware of that one. I knew about that one before you did. Yes. Well, Bespin Han. Well, that's for tomorrow's live show. On October 3rd, 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 6 scale Raw, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Yes. What? Wizard. Let's go ahead and just dive into all of this, my friends. Right now. And welcome everybody to another episode of the Market Value Chart Show right here at 6 Scale Cantina, soon to be redubbed Aries Cantina. Please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I so very much appreciate your support. And while you're at it, go ahead and smash that like button. Again, thank you so much for your support. So my, we have a lot to dive into here today. And honestly, this right here, this KX Enforcer droid was one that I called that was absolutely going to get a low stock warning and would soon hit waitlist well before it gets officially released. And you have to wonder, what other Star Wars Hot Toys figures are going to follow suit? We're going to get into that within this episode for sure. So buckle up as the Dark Jedi takes you on a ride. My goodness gracious. But the first thing I want to start off with, what's going on with the Arena Suit Boba Fett in the secondary market? What's going on with the chrome-plated clone trooper within the secondary market? What's going on? What about an update within the secondary market during this market eclipse in the primary market, which, in my view, is showing signs, the market eclipse, of dissipating. And the stars are going to be realigned in a really, really new, different way. And I think that's why you're starting to see a thaw, if you will, as I reported in the last episode last week, within the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys. I think we're starting to get a picture of what exactly we're in store for when it comes to Hot Toys and distributors and resellers in the future for sure. Anyway, let's go ahead and go to 6scalecantina.com first before we dive into this KX Enforcer droid. And again, if you are watching, don't forget to smash that like button. I do appreciate the support for sure. And I'll also appreciate if you go ahead and bookmark this website right here. This is 6scalecantina.com. If you don't have 6scalecantina.com, ariescantina.com bookmarked, you just may want to consider doing so. It has all the latest information on everything Star Wars Hot Toys. Everything. And it's your one-stop shop, and of course, all your information on what's going on at 6 Scale Cantina, Aries Cantina. Look at that awesome, updated new logo that you see up on the screen. Yeah, right there, up there. Check that out. Check that out for sure. And blowing it up, pretty a thing of beauty, I think. I love it. And you can see the show tomorrow, right here. Upcoming next live show, 6 Scale Raw. Wow. Formerly Monday Night Raw, calling it 6 Scale Raw. 8:15 every Monday at 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow night, shock drops, stock knots. Look at that full panel in the house. Do I have some information on this as well? And I say, tune in tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow. Let's go to the biggest mover section here at 6scalecantina.com. That's the second menu item. And let's see what's going on here. So, very similar to the last show, but some differences, as you can see. And starting to fill out a little bit. Very interesting. You see from the bottom up, the Luke Jedi, Return of the Jedi, and the Darth Vader ESB 40th continue to trend down slightly. Chewbacca The Force Awakens on the way up. Leia Hoth on the way up again. Anakin Skywalker Revenge of the Sith on the way up. Forget about Obi-Wan. Leia A New Hope, forget about it. Rogue One, forget about it. Darkside Anakin coming down to Earth a little bit. Still on the same trajectory. Han Solo A New Hope, forget about it. Boba Fett arena suit going down. And actually, the Chrome Clone Trooper shows the arrow going down. But that actually needs to get corrected. The Chrome Clone Trooper now should have an arrow going up, and you will see that on the market value chart. Let's go ahead and start with the Arena Suit Boba Fett. So remember I told you last episode that I thought that this was going to be somewhere around $425 is where the average is going to lie. And that's exactly what I'm seeing. Now, pulling this onto the screen, you're seeing, oh, well, Aries, this says $350. Yeah, well, there's $50 in shipping, so don't go by that. It's $400. So that's on the low end. I'm seeing this go for about $400 to $450. And the average is right around $425 for this particular figure. You see that when this person put this up at $350 with $50 shipping, that's $400. It sold very quickly. Two are gone. I'm showing this around the 420 area, and this is where I think it's going to lie. We're going to take a look at that in the market value chart in just a little bit. So this one continues to come down slightly. But again, it's coming down to where I think it's going to be, around the low 400s. The Chrome Clone Trooper, let's pull this up. So you can see here, and even from this very good and well-known seller, these are now selling at about $328, so higher now than what it was last week, where it was kind of in the low 300s. I think you could find one right now in the high 200s that has scratches on it, which is okay. But right now, instead of around the $306 average or $308 average, I see that this is moving up to right about in this price right now, about the low, about $325. Again, another range where I thought that this trooper, this chrome-plated clone trooper with the two helmets was going to wind up. Let's drink some coffee and cheer to this. Yeah, baby. Yeah. And that's where I'm seeing this. Even when you click on the sold, one just sold for $328. Back on here, September 30th, you could see there. So, not selling for when it first came out for that $450, around $445, where it was. But right now, $328. Let's go back to 6scalecantina.com. And let's go to the third menu item, which is the Star Wars Hot Toys market value chart. And remember, whenever you go to the chart, you can just click on whatever figures you want to see within that little white search box that comes up on the top right-hand corner of the chart. Let's put in the word Chrome so that we get everything with Chrome that comes on up. And you can see here onto the screen the Chrome Clone Trooper MMS 643, $319 and trending up. As you can see on the screen, let me lower it a little bit so you can get the whole thing right there. There you go, $319 and rising. So that is going up. And again, with this particular figure, I think it's going to be somewhere around 325 to 350. But in the long run, is it possible that this particular novelty trooper is going to be around the $400 tier range? And I say yes. Why? As I mentioned in other shows, collectors have been waiting for clones for a long, long time from Hot Toys. This is a chrome clone trooper with not just one, but two helmets. I think this will wind up being at the $400 tier range when it's all said and done. Let's type in the word arena so we get not all the Fetts, but Arena Suit Boba Fett. And you can see this one here now trending down to $425. And you have to wonder, is it possible that this is where this is going to level out and maybe just rise a little bit? And I say yes. Right here. I don't expect it to go any lower than 400. And I think it's going to hover around there. It may even raise up to around 450, but this is where it's going to be. This is where I'm showing this right now. So this is what's going on with those two specialty figures. As far as what's going to happen, because people ask me all the time, what's going to happen with some other figures? And let's talk specifically about the chrome-plated Stormtrooper that's right now you can get at Sideshow that was supposedly just going to be, I guess, a Shanghai exclusive and now is also a Sideshow exclusive. I don't think that that one is going to be as sought after, again, because of the Clone Trooper effect, as the Chrome Trooper. However, we're going to have to keep an eye on it because the one factor that's a difference here, it's a difference maker, is the Mandalorian. And specifically what the Mandalorian and Grogu have done for Star Wars since Season 1's debut on Disney+. And you may see a lot of these figures, even the porcelain trooper, the bronze, copper, whatever it is, Stormtrooper, any of those ones from before, you may see them start to rise. You're certainly starting to see a lot of figures hitting unprecedented new milestones within the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys. And one particularly, as we blow the screen back up, that is on fire for sure as we go back to the biggest mover section, away from the market value chart, is Leia Organa. And whether it's the Leia A New Hope, or Leia Hoth, or Leia Bespin, which really should be on the biggest movers here. So again, I told you that this section would be growing. It's absolutely unbelievable. When you look at, let's go ahead and take a look at Leia A New Hope. Here's one that just sold again. And I showed you a bunch of data last week. Here's one from September 28th with 34 bids. $560. Not including the $25 in shipping. $585. Not including taxes. Which puts this, again, well over $600. Look at the seller. 132 feedback, all 100% positive. Wow. And, of course, nice pictures. You know how much I like when people on these auctions and listings put on pictures to not disguise anything. Great job here from the seller in doing this. Absolutely fantastic. Look, there's even a picture of the shipper box as well. Very, very nice. Let's go to more Leia. You can go to ongoing Leia, because I showed you how many of these last week. And really, with 6 hours and change left as of this recording, with 17 bids and 22 watchers, look at this seller. Over, wow, 800 feedback, over 810, all 100% positive, not including the $20 in shipping. Already $510, $530 with the shipping. Forget about taxes for Leia, A New Hope. Absolute insanity when it comes to these particular original trilogy figures. You could look right here. And it's still, in my view, a buyer's market right now. But as of last week, as I reported, I'm seeing signs that it's breaking out of it. It is breaking out of it. There's still some opportunity. Unfortunately, not really any opportunity when it comes to Leia Organa, though. $550 you could see right here for this Hoth Leia. Are you kidding me? Again, another seller with great pictures. This great seller here, 160 feedback, all 100% positive, not including the $20 in shipping, which puts it at $570, over $600 with taxes for Leia Hoth. And listen, even if you're talking about Bespin Leia, as I pull this up onto the screen, and you could take a looky right here, $400 for Bespin Leia. Wow. 46 bids, not including the near $11 in shipping. Another great seller, 145 feedback, all 100% positive. Not a whole lot of pictures, but you do get the shipper box picture here. Absolutely crazy for sure when it comes to this particular figure. And honestly, these Leias, as you're seeing here on the screen, like this is my A New Hope Leia. And does this hold up to today's standards for Hot Toys? And I say yes. Just look at that when it passed over there. Absolutely sensational. So is that there. The Bespin Leia, the A New Hope Leia, the Hoth Leia, this absolutely amazing Carrie Fisher Princess Leia from The Last Jedi, any Leia is absolute heat, on fire, and hotter than July at the moment right now. I mean, just look at that. Just look at that. And it's no wonder that people are seeking these figures. But is it possible, like with that A New Hope Leia and this Bespin Leia, that a 2.0 or a different use of that head sculpt is forthcoming? And I say yes. With this one right here, I can absolutely see a Bespin Escape, which is basically that figure mixed in with the Hoth Leia on the Bespin Escape. With the A New Hope Leia, are you kidding me? With the Andor series and all the hype right now around that and around Rogue One, I can absolutely see this packaged in. Rogue One packaging saying, here's Princess Leia from Rogue One. Come on. They've put out characters, Hot Toys, that had less screen time than even the CGI Princess Leia of Carrie Fisher that was in the end of Rogue One. So I say, yes, I think you're going to see two different reiterations of that for sure. My, oh my, oh my. And when it comes to, I mean, look, I'll pull this up onto the screen. And you could see right here. Here is Han Solo A New Hope. $720, not including the $130, $129 in shipping. Are you kidding me? It's $820 for Han Solo, A New Hope. Absolutely crazy. And again, do these hold up in today's standards for Hot Toys? And I say absolutely. They sure do. I mean, just look at that. That is Harrison Ford personified. Beautiful. So's the one behind him that I got there in my Harrison Ford Hot Toys Star Wars display. Absolutely love these figures. Absolutely love that. Love The Force Awakens. I mean, once you start collecting Hot Toys and you get these likenesses of the head sculpts, it's really hard to stop the urge, the joy, the collecting addiction, if you will. Look at that, man. I mean, just look at that. But those are very, very highly sought after, the original trilogy ones anyway, within the secondary market for Star Wars Hot Toys. So, wow, wow, wow. But, you know, it's still a buyer's market for some figures, without question, you know, for sure. You know, I can give you some examples over here as I pull this up onto the screen. So, here is a Jyn Erso Deluxe from Rogue One, selling at the lower end of the average on the market value chart for a Jyn Erso Deluxe. Now, mind you, this is used, but still, just from October 1st, $390. And, you know, a lot of bids. You can see 11 bids there, not including the 15 in shipping, not including taxes. And you may say to me, Aries, but this is a very high price. Yes, it is. But it's not, this is at the lower end of the average for Jyn Erso Deluxe. I mean, she's somewhere around 500 or 475. So, you know, take it as if you will. You know, if it's selling around 400, it's usually 475, for instance. That's kind of a buyer's market, not a seller's market. Not with everything, but still in some cases. Still in some cases. You know, and again, yeah, this would be way better if you could find this for $290. Not necessarily a deal. But still, you do find some deals right now, and I still see it being a buyer's market. But the window, my friends, is absolutely, in my view, at least of this moment, closing for sure. You could even take a look at this figure over here, and I'm going to bring up Boba Fett. And this Boba Fett 40th, which continually sells around $375, $400. And obviously that's not, it's an average. That means sometimes it's going to sell lower. And you can see right here with 43 bids, $310, not including the $18. So, you know, $328, not including taxes. So definitely a lot for the figure. But again, on the lower end of the market value chart average. And this is another great seller. Look at this. Over 500 feedback, all 100% positive. So, it 1,000% is, in my view, right now, still a buyer's market for some figures, but closing very, 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 very fast indeed. And really, when you're talking about, I was talking about The Force Awakens before, and pulling this up onto the screen, and you can see right here, here is for you, my friends, the controversial, to say the least, Chewbacca, right here, from The Force Awakens. Let's pull this up to an even bigger view. 455 smackaroos. Wow. Wow. It's Chewbacca. You can see right here, 16 bids, not including the near $28 in shipping, not including taxes, which puts this well over $500. Great seller. 126 feedback. Wow. All positive. Chewbacca. Again, some of the legacy characters, they're just hard to come by and hard to get for sure. Pulling this up over here, and some figures have averaged out and are staying within their average, sometimes something a little bit over and a little bit under. You can take a look at right here. Here's Rey and Dio, and Rey is very strong, whether it's this figure or a little bit lower, but the Last Jedi Rey, or even the Rey with the BB-8. But you can see right here from another outstanding seller, a seller that I buy from quite frequently. Here's Hawk Wars Toys, $365. Again, a little bit right now of a buyer's market. Took a best offer, was $385, took a $365, not including the shipping, not including the taxes. But look right here, Hawk Wars Toys, 1,350 feedback now. All 100% positive for the Hawk Wars Toys right here. Rey from Hawk Wars Toys. And again, I love when these sellers put in, as I was pointing out with some of the other great sellers also, I love when they put in these pictures. They don't hide anything. They answer questions. To me, that's, and staying on Hawk Wars over here, like you can see right here, here's everything that Hawk Wars has. Pulling it up onto the screen. Here's his storefront. And you could even look besides some of those, which Rey, I know he gets a lot of collections. If you're looking for that Han Stormtrooper, the Han Stormtrooper, for instance, this one here that I was showing you earlier when I was talking about that, I actually got that one behind this Han right here. That's from Hawk Wars Toys. So if you're looking for a Grail item, you may want to reach out to Rey at Hawk Wars Toys. Tell them Aries sent you. But I got that one from him. And you don't want any problems with those figures when you're spending that kind of money and looking for a Grail like that. And in my experience anyway, Rey has been very, very reliable. But you could even look at some of the regular ones in stock over here. And when you're looking at the different things that, going back to Hawk Wars Toys, their eBay storefront here anyway, not just items, Grail items, or items that are, no longer available, that are in stock at certain other, distributors. But everything that's in stock at distributors as well, or a lot of them, also available from Rey at Hawk Wars Toys. Even this really cool, look at some of the prices over here compared to some of the others. You got that quarter scale Grogu. Just $150 over here. Definitely give it a view. Some of these sellers on eBay that put up a lot of pictures, and Rey at Hawk Wars, you could always tell Rey that Aries at 6 scale Cantina sent you. Good seller. Sometimes even better prices than retail. Definitely check them out. Anyway, what about the next part of this show? We've went over the secondary market, and I've teased the primary market. So, I do believe that the market eclipse is going to start to dissipate. And the reason it would dissipate is because it's going to show the new lay of the land, how the stars have been realigned. And pulling this up onto the screen, as you can see right here at the top over my microphone over there, this KX Enforcer droid, low stock remaining. And this is quite familiar for those that were following Peacemaker, that were following the quarter scale Boba Fett's. And I know that there was some conversation that, well, maybe it was because it was just quarter scale with Star Wars and Hot Toys that it was only going to happen with them. But I really didn't buy into that, and I didn't think so. As a matter of fact, this is one of the ones I called that was going to 100% get a low stock remaining warning and go on waitlist well before it ever got released and gets released next year. Coffee, 6 scale Cantina mug, available at 6 scale Cantina. And when this came out months ago, I did project that this would be low production For sure. And here is the further evidence right here. KX Enforcer Droid, low stock remaining, basically means it's going to go on waitlist very, very, very soon. And again, this isn't due out until April to September of 2023. Wow. So you have to wonder, what figures from Hot Toys for Star Wars are going to get the low stock remaining warning next? I'm going to give you my top ones. We're going to count them down over here. And some of them, I will tell you, I did get some inside information that they are absolutely going to be getting the low stock remaining warning well before they get officially released, whether it's in Hong Kong or in the United States, in Europe, Mustafar, anywhere. But this will absolutely not be the last one, just like the quarter scale Boba Fett's. We're not the last one. This KX Enforcer Droid is not the last one. And here's one that's going to be coming very, very soon. And it may seem like a surprise. But another droid, and a beloved one, at $330 for C-3PO. And this now, near the bottom of the barrel, when you sort everything out best-selling wise, those that were going to pick this up have virtually pre-ordered it. And yes, when the final production photos come out and they're sub-hype, there's going to be others that are going to also pre-order it, but not at the magnitude of when this heat is first announced. So you have to wonder, with the overstock that apparently a lot of distributors such as Sideshow seemingly seems like that they want to control during this tumultuous economy, to say the least. Okay? Are they trying to sell that overstock with the pre-orders that could come from when it's first announced, whether it's here in the US or in Hong Kong or whatever? And I say yes. You don't have to worry about keeping C-3PO in stock, because Hot Toys will 1,000% be giving you not just one, not just two, not just three, not just four, but all types of C-3PO. And they don't need to do it where they need each one of these to be a 5,000 or 6,000 piece run. You're seeing it with the Arena Suit Boba Fett. You're seeing it with the Neo from the new Matrix movie. All they need to run is 1,000, 1,500 pieces, maybe just 1,000 pieces. It's going to be the same mold every single time anyway. So they don't need to keep it in stock. They need to keep the fresh pre-orders. In my view, this is absolutely going to get a low stock warning, as will many of these items in the Attack of the Clones 20th anniversary packaging. Mark the Hot Toys Wizards words. Here's another one for you. You think this is high, the A New Hope version, the original trilogy version, within the secondary market. You haven't seen anything yet, with this being in 20th anniversary packaging. And another one way down the list in the same type of scenario. Wait for the bargain bin. Better wait in a different lifetime, because not going to happen with the figures that I'm showing you right here. Here's one you can absolutely mark down. Boba Fett from the Book of Boba Fett, which so many people thought they wouldn't even bother doing. I thought that they would, because it is a show named after Boba Fett, so I didn't know how you can actually not have a figure Boba Fett. You can argue if people are going to buy it or not. I'm getting this figure. Nonetheless, low stock warning forthcoming. You betcha. But perhaps one of the biggest surprises here in tandem with this, and this is one where I received some inside information, Cad Bane. Are we going to be able to wait for the bargain bin? Like so many of us have been talking about the past year for Cad Bane? And I say no. You can forget about that. That ship is sailing away. Far away. Here's other ones right here. This Bark Speeder, the Commander Appa with the Bark Speeder at $515. Ooh, this, and this one here, the Clone Trooper with the Bark Speeder and Sidecar at $610. Can you spell low stock warning coming to those two? Very, very quickly. Here's one that's going to shock you. And here's one that is going to be a masterpiece grail in the secondary market. Casca Reeves will be a very, very low run. And don't worry, they'll use her head sculpt again if they run out of these figures, as they're going to do with so many of these. But this is another one that I project will get a low stock warning, as most certainly will Axe Woves, coming up onto the screen right now here as well. They do not want Axe Woves stocking up their shelves like the Death Watch Mandalorian. Not going to happen in any way, shape, or form, in my view, anyway. Here's another one that you could take to the bank. Reva will not be in stock for you to buy for 2 years. Very, very low run on the Reva. That was recently just announced. And the same thing with Cobb Vanth, especially. They will 1,000% be. Timothy Oliphant's going to be in Star Wars for a while. He's going to be in The Mandalorian Season 3. I absolutely see another Cobb Vanth from The Mandalorian Season 3 and from The Mandalorian Season 4 and some other stuff. He was actually even used in the after credits as being alive in the back of the tank. In Boba Fett's palace here at the end of the Book of Boba Fett. That's what they choose to end that series with, was with this character. This will not be the first or last of this figure. Again, you need to remember, they don't need to run 20,000 of these to make their money. They just got to give you different variations and run the head sculpt again, which they 1,000% will do. And this is the way of the future with these figures. Here's one that's going to be shocking. And here's one I did get some inside information on. And it's going to shock you. DX25. Bespin Luke Skywalker. Well, don't worry. This won't be the first or last Luke either. As a matter of fact, as many Spider-Mans you could count on your hand, or Iron Mans you could count on your hand, or Tony Starks you can count on your hand, or Loki you can count on your hand, you better start counting Luke Skywalker. Because they're going to come out with a bunch of Luke Skywalkers. You're going to get a Luke Hoth. You're going to get another Luke from Return of the Jedi. You're going to continue to get Luke Skywalkers from the Mandalorian series as well. So you're going to get the battle damage version of this as well. You haven't gotten that yet. They don't need to keep this in stock to be able to fulfill Luke. All they got to do is give you another pre-order. And there's Luke. More Lukes for you. But yes, I believe the DX25 will be getting a low stock warning. And here's one that is going to surprise some people and is certainly going to bump up some sales of a particular item. And Fennec Shand, right here, from the Mandalorian series, which is going to be very, very interesting when this happens with this particular figure, and what that means for Boba Fett and the throne. Keep an eye on Fennec Shand. If you're banking on her being in stock for 2 years as well, like the Bespin Leia, you may want to think again. So many of these. So many of these. And there was one other one that I wanted to show you as well. And I don't have it bookmarked. But let me go ahead and just pull up everything here. Best-selling wise on Sideshow, using Sideshow as an example. And this figure is ranked about 38 best-selling wise. And you're going to be surprised what figure it is. Ranked at number 8 best-selling wise because of 38. Because it was number 1, number 2, or number 2 for like 7-8 weeks. Which means it was selling a lot. Which means that there's an incredible amount of interest. But like anything else, for a lot of things that are all the way up at the top, eventually, they come down. And even with initial buzz, when the figure gets announced, there's only so much of that announcement magic that's going to return. You're certainly not going to double your orders. Not right now in this economy anyway. And yes, I'm talking about the DX-27 Obi-Wan Kenobi. And look, it's going to be up here. There's going to come a time where you're going to see a low stock available, low stock warning. And it's going to happen with this. And I understand Aries, but people need an Obi-Wan. This will not be the only Obi-Wan that's going to be out there. You're going to get probably 2 more Obi-Wans from this series. You heard it here. You're certainly going to get the outfit from the first few episodes. We haven't gotten that yet. You may get the one from the last episode. Okay? You're certainly going to get Obi-Wan from the Attack of the Clones. That is 1,000% coming. Okay? Not only because of the Attack of the Clones anniversary packaging, but because they actually showed the Attack of the Clones Obi-Wan in the Obi-Wan series. And just like you have a bunch of Lokis, and you have a bunch of Spider-Mans, and you have a bunch of Tony Starks, you're certainly going to have a bunch of Obi-Wan Kenobis, especially reusing these head sculpts, and they don't need to keep this one in stock to make Harry, Sue, and John happy. It's going to get out of stock. That's what's going to happen here. And we'll talk about Darth Vader another time, the DX-28. But very, very interesting stuff here indeed. And this is where I see this going. Is, as I've been saying since I started the channel, more announcements to spill our coffee over. Less production numbers of each one of these announcements. Which also spells more 2.0s and reuses of current molds, current materials, in one way and after a fashion or another, or one way, shape, or form. And that's literally what you're seeing with a lot of these new announcements anyway. Even when you look at the new Cobb Vanth, which looks like a completely different figure, and it is, because it has a different head sculpt. But they've used that body before, and it's just cloth, and certainly they've used the Boba Fett armor before. And you're going to see a lot of stuff used like that. And it's quite okay. If they, they're going to get their maximum use out of that Boba Fett armor. Trust me. They're going to get maximum use out of this Obi-Wan head sculpt. Trust me. They're going to get maximum use out of Timothy Oliphant's head sculpt. Trust me. They're going to get more use out of both of these Leia's head sculpts. Trust the wizard. This is what you're going to see. Right now during this economy, and right now when there are less volume on purchase orders, and a need to make up the loss of volume somewhere. That's exactly what you're seeing here. And remember, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. And the Hot Toys wizard, disguised as Sir Isaac Newton, said that quote a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. What happens when you start getting these low stock warnings? You can see right here with the KX Enforcer droid that I started off this segment of the show with, that now it is all the way up. It was at the bottom. It was by the white jet trooper. And now all of a sudden it's number 5, best-selling wise with Star Wars. Because for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. What does that mean? The action of you can wait for the KX Enforcer droid to get in stock, the action of not only can you wait for the KX Enforcer droid to get in stock, wait for a coupon, not only wait for it to get in stock and have a coupon, wait for a double coupon, the action is no one's buying it. And this is by the jet trooper. So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Now there's a new action. This is a low stock warning. So instead of being in the 50s or 60s, best-selling wise, all of a sudden this moved all the way up to number 5, because for every action, low stock warning, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Low supply equals what, folks? Higher demand. And is it possible that that's really, in a nutshell, what you're seeing here from Hot Toys and everything involved? And I say yes. Make sure you smash that like button. I hope you enjoyed what you watched here today. And pulling up onto the screen, 6scalecantina.com. If you did enjoy what you watched here today, you just may want to consider becoming a Cantina Insider. If you're interested in some expanded thoughts and heightened analysis on what I just spoke about, you can go right here to 6scalecantina.com and look at this little banner right here below my video. Stockless is the latest episode for Cantina Insiders. You can only watch this show if you are a channel member. Just go right to the channel, click on the little join button, see everything that it comes with. If you think you can benefit from it, you just may want to consider joining. But I do a deep dive into Stockless. Are we going to get Stockless on the Blurg? How about Quill? How about the Bark Speeder? The Bark Speeder with the sidecar, some of these other things. You've heard me talk a little bit about it here. I really do a deep dive into this here in that new show, Stockless. Just join the channel, and you could benefit from that. Remember also here, as I'm pulling this up onto the screen, I am live tomorrow night. That is Monday night, October 3rd, at 8:15 p.m. Eastern with a full panel in the house. It is 6 scale raw, baby. And yes, I will be having a full panel. And also, don't forget, check these out. Here's the new 6 scale Cantina. See if I can blow that up. 6 scale Cantina mugs. Look at that right there, baby. New logo. You want to get this in time for before the logo completely switches to this on January 1st, 2023. And you think this would be a great Christmas present, even for those of you that have the original 6 scale Cantina mug. You just may want to consider getting the 2.0 below. For sure. So, anyway, follow me on Instagram and on Facebook. My social media platforms are in the links below. You definitely want to check me out on there. Remember, I don't always buy coffee out. But when I do, I buy from 6 scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends.